We've been putting plans in place to be able to get back onto the high street, open our shops up. So the key thing for us is that before we get anywhere near that, we want to ensure the safety of our staff and our volunteers and also our customers. Until that's done, we're not going to open any shops. And with that in mind, we've made the decision not to open a shop until the 23rd of June. So Toys R Us will be our first shop to open because we want to see what the demand is from customers to be able to manage the operation. There's some really clear guidance on social distancing, and we want to make sure that we meet all those standards. So we'll trial it. Toys R Us starts Tuesday the 23rd of June, and we'll take it from there. It's about 30,000 square feet, and on average our shops are about 1,000 square feet, and some of our smaller ones a couple of hundred. So the social distancing only allows a certain amount of people per square foot. So it made sense to making our biggest one first to get more customers in. If we opened up for donations at Toys R Us only, we'd be able to receive the donations, but we're going to have to put them into isolation for 72 hours before we can put them onto the shop floor. It made sense to do it all in one location, test that system, because we're only going to have one shop open at that point. So if you come to Toys R Us, there'll be a separate entrance to come into the shop, and all the donations will be taken through the loading bay out at the rear of the shop to keep them completely separate so there's no cross-contamination of goods. It's a very different system, and I know that it'll be difficult for customers to understand, but we're doing this because it's the safest way to run the operation. Well, it's definitely going to be different, and if you think, most of you would probably have been to a shop for your food goods, either a big supermarket or a small local shop, and you'll see that there's things have been changed there. We're going to be the same as well. And I think the difference is that if you go food shopping, you pretty much know what you want and you put it into your basket. Browsing is much more part of charity retailing, so you're picking up, you're putting things down, you're having a look around. That gives more risk to us. So we're going to be encouraging customers not to be picking things up, and where they do need to try things, so say for instance they want to buy a piece of furniture, then there'll be covers on that furniture which will be changed on each customer that comes into the shop. So they're all quite difficult procedures to implement, and we've really had to think differently, and things that we've taken for granted we can't do anymore. For the general shoppers, the people that donate to us, it must be really frustrating, and at times maybe feels like we don't want your donations or we don't want to take your money at our tills. Nothing could be farther from the truth. We're going to be able to get our shops open as soon as we can. Hold on to your donations, we will need them, but we want to be able to manage things in a professional way that's safe for you as customers and for our staff. And that will always be at the forefront of what we do. We're nearly ready to move back. We won't be long. Hold on to your donations until you can bring them back to us and support our clinical services.